here to talk about Tim Burton, John. Tim
Observer,
Burton.
Stephen says it's 3:41 a.m. here, guys. Good morning, good morning.
Good morning, good evening, good night. Yep.
Observe the moon for us, please.
Tim Burton slams Nicolas Cage Superman cameo in The Flash, referencing director's Axe film. I'm in quite revolt against all this. This is from Variety, John. But I've been reading this on various platforms, but I just thought Variety for a little change. It's a good website. It's good to navigate. But in a recent interview with the British Film Institute, Tim Burton discussed the impact of Warner Brothers scraping Superman Lives, which has Nicolas Cage attached as the titular hero, as well as how he felt seeing Cage as Superman and Michael Keaton's Batman in DC Studios' The Flash. No, I don't have regrets, Burton said, of the scrapped Superman project. I said scraped, didn't I? I always say this, when you work that long on a project and it doesn't happen, it affects you for the rest of your life because you get passionate about things and each thing is an unknown journey, and it wasn't there, and it wasn't there yet, but it's one of those experiences that never leaves you a little bit. Following the success of the Batman movies franchise for Warner Bros., Burton was set to direct Cage as the Man of Steel in Superman Lives. I think your big man was out. I think he was in the production team. Schnepp.
Yep.
Yeah.
John Schnepp. Yeah.
In the late 90s.
Did a documentary about it, didn't he?
Yeah. However, the film got shelved after spending nearly 2 years in pre-production. Cage made a surprise appearance as Superman in Warner Bros. The Flash, in which he battles a giant spider as the multiverse begins to collapse. The 2023 superhero film also sees the return of Keaton as Batman, with whom Burton directed 1989's Batman and the 1992 sequel Batman Returns. Burton reacted to Cage's Superman and Keaton's Batman in The Flash, comparing the cameos to the recent trends of reimagining films and characters using an AI platform.
Don't know about
but
that, mate.
also it goes into another AI thing, and this is why I think I'm over it with the studio. They can take what you did, Batman or whatever, and culturally misappropriate, or whatever you want to call it. Burton explained, even though you're a slave of Disney or Warner Bros., they can do whatever they want. So in my latter years of life, I'm in quiet revolt against all this. I think, John,
he's lost the plot here a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it says Burton criticised AI recreations of Disney characters in its trademark style in an interview with The Independent, saying that I can't describe the feeling it gives you. It reminded me of when other culture says, "Don't take my picture because it takes away your soul." What it does, it sucks sometimes from you. He continued, it takes something from your soul or psyche. That's very disturbing, especially if it has to do with you. It's like a robot taking your humanity, your soul. I think he's looking too deep into this, John. I think one thing Tim Burton has to remember, that these characters aren't his characters.
No, they're not.
They're DC's characters.
That's where he's lost me. And Nick Cage
his
was living
iteration of the characters, yes, I get that. John, I'll be honest with you, I wasn't up or down when I saw Nick Cage come on and doing his cameo, because it was very
did it
CG.
look like? Did they have long hair?
It was very CG. It looked terrible, to be honest with you. But they did it with Henry Cavill as well.
Yeah,
they did it with a few other. I don't know what that was all about.
Did Cavill come back in The Flash? Yeah,
he came back in The Flash.
Of course he did.
As a CG character. It wasn't really Henry Cavill. It was just his likeness. I
kind of agree with what you're saying.
Yeah.
Then if it's CG, then you are losing the soul of the performance. And at that point, you know Henry's willing to come back and play the character, and you know Nick Cage is a huge fan of superhero content, comic books. He'd have been well up for coming in and playing that character.
Now, yeah, it's too late for him.
Yeah, because he's older and his hair's not what it was. But if you're going down the side of CG, and surely it must be cheaper bringing an actor in. I mean, if Chris Nolan can make a practical nuclear bomb, and not a literal nuclear bomb, I have to stress, but he's making a practical explosion, which is recreating a nuclear explosion, the Trinity test. If he can do that and he can fly a jumbo jet into a fucking hangar in Helsinki or wherever it was, surely he can bring Nick Cage and Henry Cavill into a production and get them to shoot a scene.
Yeah.
As opposed to underpaying a fucking CG house or whatever they call it.
It's a strange thing. It's a strange thing not to do.
Yeah.
If they're willing to do, it just doesn't make any sense. I think this is a Warner Brothers thing to cut your nose off to spite your face type thing. They're very stubborn over there, and I don't really get the beef with Henry Cavill. I don't understand. I don't think it was anything to do with fees or anything like that. I think it's a personal thing. I don't know how vocal Henry Cavill has been over the years. I can't really recall him really dissing the studio. Perhaps he did. I've just not read it. But
all he says was the Kate was still in his closet.
Yeah.
But it's not now.
No, I mean, that's not anything.
He's just saying, I want to play the character again.
Yeah, exactly.
And he did.
Yeah.
And they pissed his prime away.
Yeah.
But that's an entirely different thing, Stephen. I don't get the sort of argument he's got here.
Yeah.
He's got this sort of aversion to them using Nick Cage's Superman as a cameo. I understand it to a degree, as I say, because it is CG. And obviously it's not the actual performance of Nick Cage. He's also got that personal connection with Nick's interpretation of the character. It was in production for 2 years, or pre-production. So he's got a sort of sense of what could have been with the character in that version. The whole movie he had planned, and it obviously fell through. Didn't get to realise it. And now it's popping up as like a fucking side thing in another person's story. You'd feel jilted as well if you'd put blood, sweat and tears, poured your heart into it, and then it didn't obviously come through, and then someone else is just using your sort of visual from your movie that never fucking came to fruition as a throwaway thing in a movie that cost $300 million.
Perhaps there was good intent involved in it, you know, and towards Nicolas Cage more than Tim Burton, just to give him that sort of platform to let people know that didn't know that there was this chance that, you know, he could have portrayed Kal-El, you know. But in terms of the actual footage and the actual...
Oh, it's pretty cool though, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, it's very CG.
It is, but it is still, I like the long hair.
Yeah.
It's so unique and so different.
That's the actual photograph.
Yeah, that's the actual photograph.
On, yeah. John, I remember seeing this at the time though, and you've got to bear in mind this was the 1990s, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The last Superman we had on film was Christopher Reeve at this point, so it was very jarring at the time.
Yeah.
Obviously, we've moved on. I think a lot of people wanted to see this thing happening. I don't know, obviously, the ins and outs between the relationship between the director and the studio at that point, but obviously, by all accounts, and I'm kind of reading between the lines in that article, is that Tim Burton's not had a good relationship with Warner Brothers for many years.
And it's a shame, Stephen, because as you are reading that article off, you realise he was involved in the Batman movie from 1989. Yeah, I know. Yeah, but he's powdering it there. There's no doubt about it. He's doing shit with that hair. I can tell because I did it back in the day as well. And I'll readily admit I looked like a bag of compost had been glued to my head. I was walking about. I genuinely didn't care. I've got hair back. You've not. You're kidding yourself on, mate. It's as thin as fuck. You're just painting your hairline on like that Toy Town thing, whatever the hell it's called. Those mad Russian guys dancing about with the huge chins and the sort of pinstripes and the painted hair. That's what I looked like. Not as bad because I actually had hair, to be fair, but it was very fine at the front and I was thickening it up. That's what Nick Cage is doing. Trust me, he is. I can tell. I just know these things. But Stephen, it's a missed opportunity. And you think about it, because he did that Batman movie. He could have been Zack Snyder for DC in the 90s.
Yeah.
He could have created his own little pocket for DC universe.
For the Burtonverse.
The Burtonverse.
Yeah.
And you'd have had that sort of post-campy, but still get elements of it, gothic vibe going on with the darkness of Burton's stylistic sort of flair.
I think that was the aim, yeah. I think that's what they were going for, wasn't it?
They worked very cool.
Yeah.
I'm just looking through Nick Cage's. They worked very well, not very cool. Daddy cool, that doesn't make sense. Well, they work very cool. Clown that I am. I'm just getting back to the late 90s here because I want to have a sense here, Stephen, of what was going on in Nick Cage's life when he was doing this Superman Lives movie potentially. Yeah. It was quite a bit on from Burton's era as Batman, because I think it was your man Schumacher, wasn't it?
Yeah, Joe.
Did he do Batman Forever?
Yeah,
he did Batman Returns.
He did Forever and Batman and Robin, and Tim Burton did Returns.
Batman Returns. That was the Penguin one, wasn't it?
Yeah, Penguin. Yeah,
yeah. The Penguins. They were the two. Steve, for me, they still stand the test of time. Those movies.
They're great. Yeah,
they're right up there as some of the greatest Batman film storytelling you've ever seen.
People say that obviously Burton wasn't a big comic book fan, but I don't think it has to be to, you know, make these films the way in his style and stuff like that. And it still works.
Don't need to be a fan.
And he still gets the comic book element to those films, those sort of angled shots paying homage to Adam West's 60s TV series and film. You know, that sort of kind of weird angle that they were shot at. The ground was kind of gone at an angle. Just the way they were shot. They did a lot of that in those Batman films, the Michael Keaton ones that is as well, paying homage to it. And just some of the sets as well were classic Burton. You seen that throughout his career. You go, that's a Tim Burton film. You just
Yeah,
know.
you know.
You just know a Tim Burton
I
film.
grew up with
But
this guy's movies, man.
I liked them. I still do. I still do like them. I mean, I think the Chris Nolan ones are the best ones,
Yeah.
in my opinion. But I still have an appreciation for Tim Burton's
See, I
two
remember
films.
when those Nolan movies were out, though, some people weren't having them.
No.
They felt they were too gritty and realistic and grounded,
Yeah.
and they weren't
That's what I
Batman.
like about it, though. Yeah.
That's what I like about it
different.
as well. That's what I like about Batman as a character.
Yeah.
He's not a superhero. He's just a multi-billionaire with his hands on the state-of-the-art technology and suits and shit like that, and he can fly about doing his vigilanteism.
I mean, there was a period,
not a
John, in the
superhero.
1990s when Nick Cage was just everything he touched was gold, and
I'm
I
looking at that
remember
there.
following his career from '94. John, It Could Happen to You.
Yeah.
That was the first film I probably saw Nick Cage.
Well,
that
I mean, leaving
remember.
Las Vegas, he won an Academy
Yeah.
Award for
Trapped
that in
in Paradise.
1995.
I think Dana Carvey was in that with him.
Have a little look.
As you mentioned, Leaving.
Yeah, there
there
you
it
go.
is.
Yeah.
Spot my eye. John Lovett's. It was a good film. I remember seeing it on a plane. I think I was going to Tenerife at Christmas, and this was on. I went, "Oh, this is quite interesting." And 5.9. It's not great
Yeah.
rated, but I thought it was okay.
He did win an Academy Award for Leaving Las Vegas. That's the one with the alcoholic, isn't it? Yeah.
From the
Alcoholism.
mid-90s, yeah.
So that's where he was at, Stephen.
Yeah.
When he
And-
was
and
getting.
you get The Rock,
The Rock, Con Air,
City of
Face Off.
Angels, Snake Eyes.
So I mean, he was a
yeah,
bona
Con Air.
fide fucking action
Yeah.
hero at this point, off the back of an Academy Award win. He's off of Hollywood royalty and the Coppolas. This guy was in a great place in the late 90s, and he was getting eyed to play Superman. You imagine, Stephen, we can go off into a sort of alternate reality here. What would have happened with his career if Tim
Yeah,
Burton had
yeah.
released that Superman movie? It was a huge hit, and he was now Superman. Where his career would have went, don't get me
We
wrong, we
probably
would
would
have
have got
lost.
some of the films, yeah.
But I think that's a good thing, because some of those movies are not very good. Some of them are actually decent.
Yeah.
I actually don't mind the early 2000s Nick Cage.
Yeah.
Like, I'll shill for Nicolas all day long. I think he's a great actor. I says it time and again. People like to laugh at this guy. They don't realise how knowledgeable he is and how good an actor he truly is, man.
Yeah,
I mean, Lord of
yeah.
Bob is amazing. One of the greatest opening sequences ever.
Yep.
Ant Billy not so much. World Trade Centre.
I've not seen that.
He played the fireman,
Yeah.
policeman. I think it was a firefighter.
Yeah,
Oh, police officer, I was
5 years
right.
after. 5 years after the
It wasn't great.
Wicker Man.
Wicker Man was dreadful.
Yeah, but do you know something, John? We say it's dreadful, but 3.8 out of 10 it's dreadful. But Nicolas Cage isn't the problem in
No,
these
he's
films.
movie shit.
You know, when you think of these moments in these terrible
Right.
films as well, they're always great, you know, just with him.
But even
Everything else around it is awful, you know.
But even with Nick, Stephen, when he is going through sort of lulls, he always pops out with some
Knowing another great
brilliant film. Even in the midst of some
Yeah.
less than stellar movies. You've got Kick-Ass, you've got Knowing. He'll go through a little dip and then
Maybe he
bang,
should
he's
call
back
himself
again.
Ass Kick. Fucking love that character.
He always a fucking great character. I mean, look at this, Dying of Light. He's had some real low points in his career, but then bang, he comes back.
Yeah.
That wasn't 2016, I don't know what you're talking about there.
Snowden. I don't remember him being in Snowden. I reviewed that. That's my first review. Was he in that? Can't even remember.
I can't, I've never seen it, Stephen.
Yeah.
But he's had some brilliant movies, man. What I'm saying is it could have been different for Nicholas if he'd actually had that chance. And ultimately, I can understand Tim Burton's sort of butt-hurtness, if you like it. A character he'd poured so much into, a vision he had for this story. In a sense, maybe doing for Superman, but he did for Batman, taking it off in a different direction, giving it a different vibe entirely. It ultimately didn't happen, and now they're just taking this version of a character that he has obviously got PTSD about not presenting to the world and just flinging it into a cameo.
Yeah.
And it's slightly meaningless. It's just a throwaway moment for fans.
Yeah.
I get it.
It's fan
The whole
service, yeah.
AI thing, though, is just a fucking madness he's
Yeah.
went down.
But you better get used to it, John. I think
Taking
there's
part
more.
of his soul. And,
I think there's more of that to come in terms
Yeah.
of screenwriting.
I mean, Disney are fucking absolutely going. I mean, I was going to say something there, but it's not really appropriate. It's not a nice thing to say, but needless to say, they're going down the rabbit hole with it.
Yeah.
Taking the likeness of extras, the writing thing. It's just they're going down a rabbit hole, and it's not good. It blows my mind, Steve. I've still got these sort of what's the word I'm looking for? Strikes. Strikes are still happening with the writers and with
Yeah.
actors. What the fuck is going on, man?
This is just
Reaching
going to
agreement.
add fire to the flame, John. But
If they think they can replace living,
you think the
breathing
machines
actors,
are going to take over. I'll tell you something. I'm looking forward to this Gareth Edwards film that's coming out about AI and machines. Your man, Denzel Washington's boy.
Oh, is he? I've not heard of this.
What's his name? I always get his name wrong.
John David Washington?
Yeah, that's it. That's it, yep. It's,
Wow, Holly.
I think it's coming out next month. It's
I've not even heard of this.
What's it? The Creator? I can't remember what it's called.
The Creator?
Yeah, the Creator, yep. Yep. Good
Oh,
cast,
right.
yeah.
Wow, look at that poster.
Yeah. It's
That is something else.
Yeah, from a director of Rogue One, yeah. Do you not know about this?
I
No?
didn't know about this.
No, I saw the trailer the other day. I thought this is
Anything with John David Washington,
Alison
I'm on
Janney
board.
as well, isn't it? She not a
Ken
Academy Award
Watanabe.
winner? I can't remember. Is she? Alison
Alison
Janney.
Janney, I think she is. I think
Was she
that was
not
for
in that Margot Robbie film.
Hi,
Yeah.
Tonya.
Yeah.
Yeah, she played the mother. She was a bastard in that.
Yeah.
That was a great movie as well. What was it, Hi, Tonya? I'm no doubt myself.
I think it was, yeah. It's up there. It's further up.
Hi, Tonya.
Or was it?
I think it was further back.
Further
though.
back.
It's like 2018.
Oh, it was one of the ones that I think you reviewed it, John. One of the early
Hi,
films
Tonya.
that you
2017.
reviewed.
That's mad, Steve. I
Yeah.
get little moments like that.
Yeah,
Well,
I
movies.
didn't think it was as far back as
Yeah,
that.
there was a movie I seen the other day. I'm like, fucking hell, it was.
Yeah.
That was
But
fucking
you
7
should
years
probably
ago.
watch the trailer after we're finished, John. It's a great trailer, and it's
Some
it
cast.
It looks pretty good. Yeah.
Really good cast.
Yeah.
Ralph Ineson's in there. Wow, right all the way down. You've
I'm
got
not
decent-
sure when it comes out. I think it's the end of October. I'm not sure. Middle.
John
end.
David's fantastic.
Yeah.
He's an unbelievable actor. I think he's the same age as me as well.
Yeah, he's a cool guy. Yeah,
Think
cool
he is.
cat.
A very cool cat. NFL running back as well.
Oh, you can tell. Guy's
The man's a
he's an absolute unit. Yeah.
And Gareth, I don't think I've seen anything Gareth's done post Rogue One. I'm not going to lie.
No, Godzilla.
Didn't see Godzilla. Had no interest in Godzilla. That's not the Godzilla. I may have seen that Godzilla. I think I did see that Godzilla. I'm thinking about the shit shows that have came afterwards. He's not really done anything post fucking Rogue One.
No. I think Gilroy's.
He's not done a lot of movies, period. He's done nothing since Rogue One.
Yeah.
Gilroy killed him.
He's still tasting that salt on that planet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's that called again?
Crate.
Yeah, that's right,
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. But anyway,
The whole AI thing, he's lost me
Yeah.
the AI thing, Stephen. Taking a part of your soul. Fucking bullshit.
yeah, I think there's a bit of butt hurtness there from Tim, but I think maybe we just don't know the full story in the relationship with him in the studio. Obviously, bridges have been burnt.
Well, I mean, he's obviously a firm advocate for Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
He's worked with him many times, and we know Johnny's not got a brilliant relationship with Warner Brothers, has he?
Yeah, well, this is it. Yeah. Yeah.
Warner Brothers that
They
put
stick
out
together,
The
yeah.
Flash
Yeah.
with a notoriously fucking eccentric, neurotic leading actor, but they ditched Johnny for much less.
Yeah.
Mm.
We did
Well
get
done, Warner.
Mads Mikkelsen, didn't we?
We did, yeah, he came in,
was-
he's alright.
John, I watched, talking about Mad Mikkelsen, I know we're going off on a tangent, but we've only got one topic to go anyway, but I watched Indiana Jones.
Oh, did you? Did you see it?
Yeah, I went to see it, and nah,
No.
not for me.
What's it
was
called again? The
weird,
Dial
John.
of Destiny?
Dial of Destiny. I had real
That's the
issues.
biggest disappointment I've ever faced in my life.
I
that
had
movie.
real issues with the logistics of the film. A lot of it filmed in Glasgow, the red tenement buildings, as you know, John, which looked great, don't get me wrong, but it just looked like they were always in that same street with
Yeah.
every scene. Travelling through alleyways and then they'd appear and it just looked like the same street they were back.
Because it was, it's Glasgow.
It's terrible. I think it's because I know the logistics of
Yeah.
the sort of...
Take a show.
And I'm like, I know where they're heading here. They're going down to fucking W.H. Smith.
It's like, what was he?
and now they're on fucking George Square.
Yeah,
I'm
George
like, this
Square.
doesn't make any sense.
What was he?
You know?
When you've got fucking Brad Pitt driving down from George Square, Bobby Petter's walking by here,
Yeah,
like, this takes me out of this movie. I'm sorry. That's Bobby Petter in a fucking tank top.
Supposed to double up as Philadelphia.
Oh.
Philadelphia. But
Deary me.
yeah, so I
Deary
kind of it did take me out of the picture a little bit, and I just felt the CG wasn't great either. The first 15 minutes of the film was like
concept was
young Indiana, if you know what I mean. I say young, probably in his 50s.
I think it was right. I think it was set during the original 3.
Yeah,
I think it would have been about 40.
yeah, Toby Jones, is it you call him?
Yeah.
Is in
A
it
little
as
midget
well.
guy.
Yeah, and yeah, it was just CG heavy. It was just absolute CG. I went, nah.
Really disappointing.
Wow.
No, I remember reading the script that got leaked. Operation Paperclip, I think it was. Was it Paperclip?
Yeah.
Or was that the one with Ben Kingsley? I don't think so.
No, Ben King. That's weird. Talk about taking you out of the picture.
He was playing a guy, he was playing Adolf Eichmann when he was my age, in his 70 odds, and they didn't de-age him.
No.
I'm like, wow, this guy's meant to be.
You can do that right. We saw that in The Five Bloods. They can do it right, but they totally done it wrong in that film. It just didn't look. I just kept looking at him. I was like, I'm not even paying attention to the story. I just keep looking at this guy's face. I'm like, he's not in his 30s.
Operation Finale.
Yeah.
Where is he? Come on, Ben. I love Ben Kingsley, I have to stress, but holy...
He's an amazing actor,
sticks.
John, but no.
Holy fuck sticks. Let's bring this up.
No, that's
playing
not
a
right.
guy my age here.
Yeah.
He's my age.
Yeah.
He's had a face transplant. If you've seen people who have had face transplants, and there's not many, I think there's been about 2.
Yeah.
They look like that.
Yeah, Nick Cage and John Travolta.
Yeah, that's what it's like. Yeah, exactly, Stephen. But it was done better than that, because they actually looked all right. In reality, you've got 21-year-olds getting 50-year-old guys, dead guys' faces, and they look like that.
That's weird.
I mean, fuck me. Ben,
Yeah,
what were you thinking?
Paper round.
He certainly did. He's a Nazi, so I mean, it kind of makes sense.
I know they say the war ages you, but come on,
Don't age fucking weasels like that, to be fair.
double your age.
I digress, Stephen. I was making the point, Paperclip, it was a drop ball, because it sounded so great. You've got Nazis infiltrating, top scientists being brought over by America and the Soviet Union. Had to think there.
Czechoslovakia.
Czechia, they're calling themselves now. And just the concept of these guys being there, Nazis being in the States legally, and how that's rubbing obviously India up the wrong way. It was such a promising concept, but sadly they just have to foist Phoebe Waller-Bridge in as the sort of...
she was okay.
Yeah,
she
but it's not indie, and you're going there for indie.
She was the sort of muscle in the film.
That's the point. You're going for fucking indie, and the guy's 80.
Yeah, he's doing that running, and I'm like, no, come on. No, it's like Samuel Jackson and Captain Marvel again, and you're like, nah, this just doesn't look right. Or Al Pacino trying to get out of a chair.
You know what the problem is, Stephen? It all stems back to Hollywood trying to rebuff ailing franchises or long dead franchises.
Yeah.
Hugely successful Indiana Jones, the trilogy, should have left it there. Didn't need another movie. They try to bring it back with that Kingdom of the fucking Lost Skull or whatever, the Crystal Skull, and then they fuck that up, and then they try to redeem themselves and they make it even worse.
Yeah, it's like the Terminator, the last 2 Terminator films.
Yeah, just leave it alone.
Yeah.
Leave it.
You could say maybe the last 4 Terminator films.
I would.
Yeah.
I mean, I like Salvation.
Yeah.
I did.
But they should have left it too.
But it should have been 2.
Yeah, they just don't know when to stop. It's a cash cow, John.
The only issue with Salvation was it had your man in it. And I like the guy, but he was
know,
everywhere.
And I love
you know who I'm talking about, don't you?
Is that?
The guy who was in Salvation. He was in Avatar.
Yeah.
Forget his name.
Worthington.
Sam Worthington.
Yeah.
Fucking everywhere.
Man in a Ledge. Yeah, he was in everything at one point, yeah.
People were comparing him to Tom Hardy. What the fuck?
Tom Hardy was in everything at one point as well. I think it's just that sort of at the forefront, isn't it? You just get actors that are like that. They're in everything at once, and you kind of get tired of them. Certainly with Sam Worthington, I did.
We seen Salvation in the theatres, didn't we?
We did, yeah.
Really well shot.
Yeah, Mick G.
Choreography was amazing.
I think he's called the MCG, but I call him Mick G.
Mick G.
Yeah. I think he did music videos. I think he did that. Why Don't You Get a Job? Do you remember that song?
No.
Can't remember who sang it. I think he directed that one. I can't remember who the band were. Yeah. American. Yeah. What was it called again? They did Pretty Fly for it. The Offspring.
Oh, the Offspring.
Yeah. Yeah, he did the video for the Why Don't You Get a Job.
Oh, I know one song from them.
Oh, you know 2 now.
Pretty Fly for a guy. That's it. Unten, Grieben, Alten, Loben.
So we're going to move on, John, anyway, to our next
tangents galore here.
Give me, baby, yeah. I did like that song. I did like that song.
3, 4, 5, 6.
John really liked it.
I did. That was my era.
John, we're going into gaming news. Yeah.
There was another one I was trying to think. It's now left me again. It was a song from back in the day. The Discovery Channel, You and Me, Baby, Ain't Nothing But Mammals. We were speaking about this last week, I think. You remember that song?
No.
The Discovery Channel. Do it like they do on the Discovery Channel. Do it again now. That was that era. American Pie. Yeah. We were talking about your man, the Stifler.
Yeah.
Or whatever. That was the song. I couldn't think of it at the time.
End of
It's
an
now
era.
came to me.